was cut off during practice. It would have been world news if it was nowadays, say like the President of America was practicing his gun shooting. He shoots himself in the foot. Everyone would have known about it. So similarly, the king has cut his finger like that, and everyone's worried about it because he's such a great king. But his minister says, no, this is very good. This is all in this is all the arrangement of the Lord. So if your finger is cut off, it's good. And the king was angry. You think it's good? Okay, then I put you in jail. You think it's good now? And he's like, the minister, he has this higher vision. He's like, yes, it's fine. It's all in the arrangement of God. Okay, fine. So he's in prison. So one day the king, he's going on excursion in the forest. Usually like warriors of that time to practice. They're killing us, they go maybe hunt animals or maybe tigers to protect the sages who are meditating in the forest. So he got captured by some cannibals who were living in the forest. And they took him, tied him up, and they took him to where they live. And they were going to make him a human sacrifice for their ritual. They do a sacrifice of a human and then they eat it afterwards. So then they're getting him ready, they're preparing his body, they're putting different things on it, and they're about to kill him. But then someone says, wait, stop, we can't do this ritual. This body is not good. Why? There's a piece missing. So then they released him. So the king is thinking, ooh, maybe my minister was right. So he went back and apologized. He said, yes, it was good that my finger got cut. It was the arrangement of the Lord. Otherwise I would have got eaten by those cannibals. But I have a question, my dear minister. Like, when I put you in jail, how did you think that was good? And then the minister said, well, your majesty, like, every time you go on excursion, I come with you. So, if I was with you, they would have ate me, because I had a complete body. So it's good you locked me up. So someone who has this bigger picture of things, they are not affected by what's said here, the temporary appearance of happiness and distress. So it's just so everyone can pay attention to the knowledge. If he's making more noise, maybe take him outside. Sorry. Yeah, the kids, but they like to make noise. So we can see those who have the bigger picture, bigger vision, they can see that things are just temporary, happiness and distress. They come and go like summer and winter seasons. So how to have such steadiness? Because we're in a world where everything changes. The weather especially. We have this saying in Melbourne, Australia, if you don't like the weather, just wait 10 minutes. Sometimes we have like 4 seasons in one day. Do you have it here in Cape Town? Yeah. Okay, so we have something common. So then, it's like, what's going on? We just have to carry on. The weather's always changing. Our bodies are changing all the time. Sometimes it's weak, sometimes it's strong, sometimes fat, sometimes it's skinny. Sometimes it's healthy, sometimes it's not. Our jobs, many times we change jobs. We're changing our routines all the time. Something's always affecting. Okay. Sorry if you can take outside. We love him. But, yeah, that's good. So we can see that everything is changing, even the body. You have a baby body that runs around. You can't. It's always making noise and running around and so much energy. And then it gets older. You have a youthful body. You're a bit more smarter. And then the body gets old. And who's seen the change of the changing body? Who's the witness of these changes? Because everything seems to be fragile. Even our relationships. You remember when you were in school? Maybe grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. You had like a best friend in school. And then the next grade, you're not in the same class anymore. And you don't really care much about each other anymore. There's changes, a girlfriend, boyfriend, the relationship changes, even within family, within children, brother and sister, same thing. It's always changing. What actually stays the same? What can we actually hold on to? Even our money is always changing. Sometimes we're rich, sometimes we're poor. It's always changing all the time. So what can we hold on to? What's the thing that we can hold on to feel that we're safe and steady and secure?
It's in the suitcase.
iPad?
Yeah, it's in the suitcase. It's 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Oh, 2, 4. 2, 4, 3. So it's always, what can we hold on to? So when we see that everything around us is changing, even the body, then what's witnessing the change? That stays the same, right? You've seen the changing of your body, the changing of your mind. You used to like different music, different fashions, different foods even. What's staying the same that's witnessing? So that's the first step of spiritual life. To understand yourself. Can you be steady if you don't know who you are? Without steadiness, how can you be peaceful? Without peace, how can you be happy? And, if you're always like wanting to adjust, and there's no peace. So if you don't know who you are, there's no chance of happiness. So the Bhagavad Gita is saying, Krishna is saying, Deos minyata dehe, komanam yoganam jara, tatata hantara prapti, Deos tatta namuyati. That the embodied soul is passing from babyhood to youth to old age. And similarly at death, it passes into another body. Someone is sober, someone is not bewildered by the changing world, is not bewildered by all this. So we have to have this knowledge. This is step 1. So when we think of the soul, we may think, okay, there's a spirit inside. Some people say, I'm a young and old soul. No. The soul is eternal. Lives forever. It's called Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means eternal. Chit means full of knowledge or fully conscious. And it's Ananda, full in bliss. So for that eternal body, for eternal soul, it's opposite to the body. The body is temporary. We've probably been to a funeral. And maybe someone's father has passed away, or grandparents have passed away. And all the relatives are surrounding this body. And they say, he's gone, he's gone. What do you mean that father, that grandfather you've been interacting is lying there, exactly as he is? So what's gone? It's the soul that's gone, moved on to another body. So where does it go on to? What type of body does it get? So the body it gets is according to its activities, its desires, and its state of mind upon death. These are the 3 factors. Changing a body is just like when you have old clothes. They're worn out now, and then you put on new clothes. So similarly, like the soul is changing from one body to the next like that. Once the body stops working, it just gets out, it gets into a new one. Or like a driver in a car, you smash the car, and then the driver gets out, gets into a new one. We can even see the difference between the body and the soul just by our language. You know, I say my glasses, I say my bag, my drum. You know, we also say with our body, my hand, my ear, my nose, my chin. These are all separate from me. We don't say I hand, we don't say I head. Say my hand, my head. So who's the owner of all these things? That's the soul. And the next body you get may not be human. Many people assume this, like, yes, when I die I'll just get another human body. I'll be born in Barbados in the beach with nice coconuts. But that may not be true. Say if you're it's according to the activity. Say if someone likes to sleep a lot. So in Australia we have koalas. They sleep 13 hours a day. It's a long time. Koala is very cute, and all they do is chew eucalyptus leaves. So why do they sleep so much? They sleep so much and they're very slow. They kind of resemble like potheads, you know, oystones. So if you know someone who likes a lot of marijuana, maybe next life they'll be a koala. If you like eating lots of meat, then a human body is not for you. You need a body like with sharp teeth and like a short intestine and have like some special acidic chemicals that help break down meat. So that's the tiger's body would be much better for you. If one is really addicted to sex life, then the human body is not for you. Maybe a pigeon's body, apparently they have sex like 30 times a day. The pigeon body. So we can see that actually there's 8.4 million different species of life that one could get. 8.4 million. But we're just cycling through again and again. Birth, death, one body after another. But the human form of life is special. It's equipped with high intelligence. It can ask, who am I? You know, where did I come from? What happens to me after death? Why do I suffer? The animals can't do this. That's why there's like religion and spiritual talks with philosophy amongst the humans. We don't see any animals here. You know, there's no cats and dogs just walking in, listening in. So it's a thing of the animal form, the human form of life is for this inquiry about the spirit, about the self. If one doesn't do this, if one doesn't utilize this high intelligence of the human being, then it's simply a two-legged animal, just walking around. Polished animal. So what do all living just an animal is just concerned with eating, sleeping, mating, and either fearing or fighting over eating, sleeping, and mating. We can see that with wars that are taking place. They want resources. They want to show their power. Or some people, or some nations have like huge weapons just to defend their eating, sleeping, mating. But this is the same as the animals. Human life is to go beyond this, to understand the real self. So what would you rather identify with? If you identify with the soul, which is eternal and lives forever, that would be more pleasant. Or like the soul is actually full of consciousness. The body is always dead. It was never alive. It's full of ignorance. And then you see that the soul is full of bliss, full of happiness, ever increasing happiness. But the body is full of misery. There's always some pain here and there. You know, you may say, no, this body gives me a lot of happiness. I've done so many nice things where I've become happy with this body. But if you compare it to the pain, it's incomparable. Say, for example, I get my palm, and I stroke it and wrap some silk around it. I say it's very nice now. But if I get a hammer and smash it, so much pain comes. We experience this quite often in this world. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Dukkhalam asvasatam. This material world is a place of, is temporary and full of misery. This body is kind of like, we kind of in like a virtual reality, thinking that, yeah, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm Indian, American, Australian, I'm a carpenter, a builder, an accountant, a rich tycoon, unemployed, student. So many labels are there, but they never stand. We never find out who we really are. We're just distracted by it all. We can never feel that eternal full of knowledge and bliss atmosphere. So when we identify with the material body, then we identify with the material world. We think we belong in this material world. But this material world is not the place for the soul. It's like an incompatible situation. Like a fish out of water. You know, the fish, if it's out of water, you could give it a nice car, Ferrari, you could give it a beautiful girlfriend, a big mansion, and the latest iPhone. But will it be happy? No. Until it goes back into the water, then it'll be happy. So the soul's in an atmosphere which is temporary, full of ignorance and full of misery. It needs a place where it's eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. This material world, there's birth, death, old age and disease. And so no one wants to get old. If you see any advertisement, Coca-Cola especially, there's no old people advertising that. You know, because they don't want to see that. They don't want that there. And obviously everyone's scared of death. No one likes this talk of death. Even there's apparently the Chinese word for number 4. It sounds close to the word death. So in Taiwan, if you get in a building, there's no 4th floor. There's none. They took it out. It's inauspicious. They don't want to. They're just hiding from it. It's kind of like when a rabbit that's been attacked by an animal. The rabbit thinks like, if I just close my eyes, then the danger's gone. So the materialists, those who are not taking reality as it is of this material world, they're like these rabbits, just closing their eyes, hiding from reality. And birth is also a suffering. You may think, no, we have birthdays, it's a celebration. You know, when a child is born, it's amazing. But when the child is born, when it comes out, it's crying. I never heard of a child coming out of the womb laughing, giggling. It's crying. And the Bhagavatam, the scriptures reveal the experience of a child within the womb. It's like in an airtight bag, and the spine is bent like a bow, and then there's all these like worms that appear from what's in the stomach, and it's like biting the tender skin of the child, and there's so much pain it just goes unconscious. And then within the womb, every child is praying, "Oh my Lord, I've forgotten you. I've forgotten my real spiritual life. This time I definitely won't get caught by illusion. I will worship you." It's praying inside. So there's so much suffering before and after. So this material world, at every step, there's always some problem. There's always these threefold miseries. We get miseries from natural disturbances. If there's an earthquake, a cyclone, and weather, pandemics, it's always something to come involved. We get miseries from other living entities, mosquitoes, even other people. That's probably the worst one. They give us so much problems. And then probably the worst one is Adhyatmika, which means the miseries from one's mind and body. There's so many like millionaires, there's so many celebrities. You hear about them committing suicide. They have everything. They're the best. So much wealth, so much fame. Everything the best. But then you hear they commit suicide. How? Because the mind wasn't peaceful. The mind was in so much misery. So this is the nature of the material world. This is the nature of identifying with the material body. So, who wants to stay in the material world? Anyone? No, we want to get out. We want to go back to the spiritual world, where we're in our proper environment of eternal bliss and knowledge. So knowing that with the soul is not enough. We need to act on the platform of the soul. And not get dragged down by this body, the happiness and the stress. We need to know the essence of the soul. So this is called Sanatan Dharma. Dharma we've heard before. Many translators, religion. So, Sanskrit says dharma means the essence of something. So, for example, if you have water, the essence of it is that it's wet. Or if you have sugar, the essence of it is that it's sweet. Or chili, it's pungent. So if you take these things, if you take the wetness out of water, it's not water anymore. If you take the sweetness out of sugar, you can't call it sugar anymore. So similarly, the essence of the soul, the Sanatan Dharma, is that the soul wants to serve. So you may say, yeah, but what about someone who's like homeless, who doesn't work a job, doesn't have a bus? Well, he still has to serve his stomach when it gets hungry. Everyone has to serve. You'll find that in a family, the children serve the parents serve the children. You'll see even the president of the United States, he still has to serve the voters to get their vote. Everyone is served. There's no one that's free from this. And you could say, oh, this is religion, but this applies to any faith, even the atheists. No one's free from serving. So if service is our essence, how to perfect that essence? So most people, they may serve themselves. So you may think, what kind of value of life they have if you just serve yourself? It's pretty low. Okay, maybe they may get a family, wife and children. So it goes, the value goes up. Okay, you serve yourself. Maybe they serve the community, it goes up. The whole nation. Okay, that's a bigger value of life. Maybe even all human beings in the world. That's really good. It's a high value. But what about the animals? Okay, them too. And what about the other planets? Okay, let's serve the whole universe. So you can see, the bigger your service goes, the higher value of life there is. But if you serve the Supreme Soul, or God, then that's the highest value of life. So most people think, okay, if you just dedicate your life to God, then that's just limiting yourself. You forget about your family, you forget about society, you forget about yourself. What about, this world? No, it doesn't work like that, because every single soul is a part and parcel of the Supreme Soul of God. Just like a drop in the ocean. We are like the drop, and God is, or Krishna is like the ocean. Or like a molecule of sun ray. We are like that molecule, and God is like the sun. We're the same in quality actually as God, but not in quantity. And we have this relationship as being the servant of God. But what about, your friends, your family, your workplace, your boss, just people around you? Don't you need to serve them? Don't you have a responsibility to them? Yes, but when you serve God, when you try and please God, then it's just like watering the root of the tree. You can water each leaf, twig, and branch. It won't properly nourish the tree. You have to water the root. So we must serve the root of our existence, show that love. Service means to show love. And when we water the root of our existence, then all the leaves, the twigs, the branches get full nourishment beyond their own capacity. So we are looking for happiness. We feel this happiness from serving God. Our value in life is so amazing that we feel a happiness that's overflowing. We can't handle it. Another example is given of like different parts of the body. So you have your arms, legs, eyes, ears, everything. But the purpose of maintaining the whole body is to feed the stomach. There's like a story saying that all the different parts of the body, they went on strike. They didn't like the stomach getting all the food. So they go, no way, not anymore. We're not doing this. We're gonna get our own food. We're gonna survive on our own. Why are we giving everything to the stomach? So they went on strike. And then when food came, they tried to take it for themselves. So when the cake came, then the hands tried to absorb it within itself. And then they try to put it in the eyes and the ears, different parts of the body, try to enjoy the food. Suddenly all the different parts of the body were suffering, they're getting weak, they couldn't enjoy life anymore. What's going on here? Why are we not getting nourished? And they understood, unless the process, they follow the proper process, putting food into the mouth and feed it in the stomach, all the energy and nutrients get distributed to all the different parts of the body. They become strong, they become fit, they become nourished. So similarly, if we give our lives, our service to God, to the Supreme Soul, then we will be fully nourished. We'll be finally satisfied. We'll be in that atmosphere of eternal full knowledge and bliss. That's the spiritual world. It can happen here and now. And that's what yoga means. Most people think yoga is like asanas and deep breathing. There's one form of yoga that's that. Yoga actually means to link the small soul to the big soul, to the Supreme Soul, to link to God. And here at the temple we do what's called bhakti yoga. So bhakti means with love, with devotion, devotional service. So with a mood of appreciation, thank you so much for everything you've given me. The next breath is the greatest thing for me. Don't you reckon? If you don't have your next breath, you put and then when someone gives it the next breath, you're very appreciative. God is giving every moment this next breath. So at least we can do, we can show some appreciation, some love. And the easiest way in these crazy times of Kali Yuga, of these times of quarrel and hypocrisy, is by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That love that we've never felt before gets awakened from within. It's not from the outside, so pure love, unconditional. It's beyond time, space, and thought. You can't get your heart broken in this relationship. How many times our heart's been broken in this material world? We felt that pain. Either we're with someone that just doesn't satisfy me. You just don't satisfy me. I don't know why I'm in this relationship. Or you're trying to please that person and they're not satisfied with you. I try to give you everything you don't appreciate. You just don't satisfy. And then your heart's broken again. So we need to be in that relationship where the heart can't be broken. That love that goes on and on. And that's the nature of the soul when it's in this position. Brahma Bhuta Prashantatma Nasochati Nakangshati Samasavesha Bhuteshu Mabhaktim Nalite Param. That when you identify with the soul, you're Prashantatma, you're a happy soul. Nasochati Nakangshati. You don't worry about what you lost in the past. That's not there anymore. And you're not like really desiring so much, oh, I'm going to get this so much in the future. No, you're satisfied. You're equal to all living entities. You see them also as a soul. You don't see them for their body or the labels with their body. That's when real life begins. That's when spiritual life begins. And it's as easy as chanting this mantra. The Hare Krishna mantra. That's what we're offering to you, an invitation to be on the platform of the soul by chanting this mantra. It's very easy and sublime. Thank you so much for listening. If there's any comments or questions you may ask or add on.
Thank you. Very nice. when you were mentioning about we don't like the idea of dying, we're scared of that factor, except for devotee. But as you were mentioning, we're not worried about being born. And the problem is that if we don't get it right, then we'll be born again in this world. And that'll be our big mistake. And that part of the Bhagavatam that you mentioned in the third canto, which is revolutionary, the fact that the Bhagavatam gives information about the child within the womb, that's earth-shattering, right? And in the sixth canto about the living entity about to leave the body with the Jammu. So those are extremely pertinent parts of the Bhagavatam that really show that we know nothing about our life, really, unless we hear from the Supreme Lord in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So I was wondering this point about making spiritual progress and surrendering to a spiritual guide, and how necessary is it that in the process of making progress in the spiritual life.
Question. That's the question. Yes, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, Tat vidi pranapatena pranaprasena sevya upidikshante jnanam jnanastat vidarshanam. Just try to approach a spiritual master, inquire submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So, Krishna, God is very far away, very distant. Our senses cannot perceive spirit actually. Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Namavet Granamindriye Sevamukhe Jivado Swaime Vasparatida. With the material senses that we're equipped with, this material body is very blunt to see spirit. And especially Krishna. But by service with the tongue, then we get purified. And the Lord reveals himself. When he sees that we're making an effort to come towards him, then he starts to really reveal himself. So the way that it's done, it's through kind of this philosophy. You kind of have this saying, it's not who you know, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Yeah, so you could read all you could, but unless you know someone, you know, who's close to the main guy, to the main person that you're trying to connect to, then you get you in. Sorry, the example always comes up because of past conditioning. If you want to get into the nightclub, if you know the manager or the DJ, they'll get you in. You know, you jump the line.
The bouncer.
Yeah, the bouncer, they'll just get in, no worries. So it's there's people who are confidential associates of the Lord and the spiritual master, those who've seen the truth. They've seen Krishna, they've seen who you are as a soul. They know exactly what's required for you to connect to your Lord. And that connection takes place through three things: through submission, service, and inquiry. When that takes place, it says that the spiritual master in the purport is saying that the spiritual master tests the disciple. And if the disciple passes that test, then the spiritual master blesses the disciple's spiritual knowledge. So it's not like we're gaining it, it's given to us. Spiritual knowledge means Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Pritapurikam Tadami Bodhi Yogatam Yenamamu Piyantite that by their constant service with priti, some affection, Krishna, the Nami Buddhi Yogantam, he gives the intelligence with which he can come near to him. So that's all done through the channel of the spiritual master. And we have this parampara. Ivam parampara praptam, ivam rajam shio vidu sakalena mahata yoganasta parantapa. That through the chain of the civic succession, the saintly kings understood the supreme science of Bhagavad Gita. So this is how it's done. It's described just like if you want the mango up the top of the tree, then you don't drop it all the way down. It can break, but it's passed branch by branch. So our connection to Krishna, especially this knowledge Bhagavad Gita, it's through the spiritual masters, the chain of spiritual masters, leading all the way up to Krishna. And they didn't add anything, they didn't subtract anything. So the knowledge that we get is as if we got it directly from Krishna. The experience of serving the spiritual master is as if you are serving Krishna directly. Thank you. So we'll stop here. Thank you so much for listening. And is there an MC? Who'll tell us what's next? Guru Puja is next. Okay. So we'll get ready. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.